All right, today we are going to talk about one of the most important things that could ever happen, that could ever occur in your trading career. It's called the breakthrough. Somebody say breakthrough. Yes, the breakthrough. Let me explain and define what the breakthrough is. We're going to talk about what the breakthrough is, how to recognize it, and what to do to get to that place where you finally break through. I'll give you an example. Back in the olden days, right, when the armies would come and invade a territory, that city would have a big wall, big fortress. So what the armies would do, the Greek armies, the Romans, whatever, they'd have something called a battering ram. Say a battering ram. Yeah. You need a battering ram. And they would ram that door, the front gates. Again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Batter ram, batter ram. That's called consistency. I don't remember his name, but there was a kung fu master. He said this one time. He said, "I'm not afraid of the man that has practiced 10,000 kicks. I'm afraid of the man who's practiced one kick 1,000 times." Somebody say mastery. Yes. Just like the battering ram has to beat against that door in the same spot again and again and again before there's a breakthrough. Somebody say breakthrough. Before we get that breakthrough, there has to be a consistency of one thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Michael Jordan shooting free throws 10,000 a day. Celine Dion singing her scales for 8 hours a day, over and over and over to get to breakthrough. Somebody say breakthrough. Mastery doesn't happen in a night. It cannot happen in a week. Nobody goes and takes karate class and they're a black belt next week. But when you practice that one kick, whatever your kick is, it could be silver bullet, it could be trading the opening 15-minute range, supply and demand zones, it could be 5-second scalping. That's what you become. You're a 5-second scalper. Fair value gaps, you trade 5-second scalp. Whatever it is, whatever your kick is, kick it over and over and over and over again. Now, here's where it gets difficult. It sounds good in theory, but in application, here's where it's difficult, and here's where we have struggled, because we have not realized that there are 3 people within inside of us. There's 3 of us. So we're not just fighting against the market, we're fighting against ourselves. Number 1, our body has a mind of its own. I was shocked. The first time I ever realized that our body has a mind of its own, I was about 25 years old. I was in Maui on an 85-foot cliff, 7 sacred pools in Hana. And the local native Hawaiian girl, she jumped from the cliff. So, you know me, I was in my ego, so you got the body and the ego. So those two really fight against you. But I'm gonna get into the ego in a second. But my ego said, "Oh man, well, she could do it. You know, you gotta do it. You can't let a female, punk you down, right? Show you up." Ego said, "Hey man, come on now. I got a reputation to protect." So I said, "Okay, I can do it. She can do it, I can do it." Now listen, I never jumped off a 10-foot cliff, 20-foot cliff, let alone 85-foot cliff. I wasn't ready for the visceral reaction. Somebody say visceral reaction. Woo! I wasn't ready for the visceral reaction that was about to happen. When I stood on the 85-foot cliff looking down into this little narrow waterway, whatever, little pool. I mean, it was just, a little river that goes out into the ocean. When I looked down from 85 feet, my whole body had a visceral reaction. Started moving. My stomach was, my body, like I was like, man, what's wrong with you, man? You all right? My body was like, man, no, man. No. I mean, it was trying to stop me. Everything in my mind and my brain was like, man, just jump, close your arms, like she said, close your feet together and you're good. Just jump out 10 feet. It's easy peasy, man. Like it's just jumping like from 10 feet. My body was like, no, man, you ain't jumping off this cliff. It was doing everything it could in its power to stop me. I had to override my body. I said, you know what? So I did it. I jumped. But what did I do? I jumped again 4 more times because I could not believe that my body was that powerful, that it almost stopped me. I had to override the messages, the signals, the warning, no, don't. That was coming from my body. I remember the first time, I was trading stocks, right? And I was used to a 10K account. So I was used to a risk of like maybe losing $200, $500 on the trade, 500 max. I didn't want to lose, but 5%. And we had a death in the family, so we had some inheritance money, right? So I had a little bit of cash, and then I opened up an account, put on some margin. So now I had a 100K account. And I'll never forget, I wasn't ready for the body's visceral reaction, say visceral reaction. I thought it would be just like trading a 10K account. My first time, I put $80,000 bet on Facebook. Had good earnings. I'm in it live, 80K. And as soon as I put on that 80K bet, man, my body was vibrating. My stomach was turning. I was like, get out, stop. No, I'm like, man, come on, man. Man, I was only 20 seconds into the trade. I was only up maybe $100. And I was like, I'm done, I'm out. I can't. I could not believe that I wasn't ready to battle myself. My body said, no way, Jose, you ain't jumping off this cliff. 80K? What if it takes 10%? You just lost $8,000. You don't want to lose $8,000. Like, I was not ready at the time. So you know what? I didn't achieve the breakthrough. See, the enemy on the other side of the wall is not the one you have to battle first. To get to the breakthrough, you have to go first through the body, and then you have to go through the ego. Somebody say ego. Yeah. There's another person that you have to get control over, you have to silence, and you have to override. Somebody say override. You got to override the ego. Because the ego is this. Within the ego, there's pride, there's fear, lack, worry. And guess what? I want what I want when I want it. Greed. The ego is associated with monkey brain. The ego is, oh, come on, man, you could do it. Come on, let's just jump in right now. Oh, I know it's only 5 minutes to close, and you shouldn't be trading with only 5 minutes left. But come on, man, you can make a quick $500, man. Come on, I got it. I want what I want right now. That's the ego. See, you have a plan in place. Only trade this level. Only trade when this happens. When A, B, and C happens. But the ego says, man, this is boring. I want to trade right now. I want to make money right now. Come on, man, you know you can do it. Let's go. I want what I want when I want it. That's the ego. You have to fight that ego. Because in your higher self, which is your true self, which is the wise mind, somebody say the wise mind. In your wise mind, right, you have an abundance of wisdom. You have abundance of patience. You have an abundance of joy. There's no fear. There's nothing but love. There's nothing but peace. In your wise mind, you have everything you need to be successful. Because you know the setups, you know what to do, you know where to place your stops, you know when to take profit. But sometimes, even you start off with your wise mind, you get into the trade at the right place, and then the ego steps in and says, man, hurry up and just take some profit. Now, you know your profit target is about 20 more points higher, but you consistently start to take profit too soon. You're like, what am I doing? I take a $50 profit, but I take a $120 loss. I take a $100 profit, but I take a $300 loss. Why am I keep taking smaller profits and bigger losses? This ain't gonna happen. Somebody's fighting against me and it's stopping me from being profitable. And you know who it is? It's called the ego. That's the ego. That's the ego stepping in. Because fear resounds and rests in the soulless realm of the ego. Now, the body doesn't fight you on those kind of trades. The body fights you when you the body fights you when you're ready to go big. Somebody say go big. Yeah. You've done the practice account. You've done the evals. But when it's time for the real money, and now you got funded, or let's say you're putting up your own real money and you start to do what you did in practice, somehow now that it's time for the big game, your body starts to act different. Your body starts to sweat. Maybe your heart starts to palpitate. You're like, man, what is going on? Why is my body acting like this? It wasn't acting like this on my practice account. I was able to make 10K in a day on my practice account. No sweat. And now that I'm in big leagues with real money, I got the jitters. My body's like, man, no, this, yeah. It's shaking me. I'm shaking out and I'm jumping back in. I'm like, why am my body fighting against me? Because you have not identified it as a wall, a stronghold. Your body, your ego is the wall. And until you get a battering ram, say battering ram, and boom, 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 consistently run your plan, don't batter body, what you say, I'm running the plan. Ego, shut up. Ego, shut up. Pow. You hit those two things under control. Once you've gotten those two things under control, with consistency, you have to build up to it. See, I wasn't ready for the 80K trade 4 years ago. So, what am I doing now? Well, I'm back to trading small stuff, smaller accounts. And I'm building myself up to where soon, one day again, I'll be back. I'll be ready for it now. Because I'm battering ram myself on the 5K. Hitting my ego, beating it down on my 10K, and then my 15, and then 20, and then 30, and then 40. And as I build up, it's all relative. Because in the future, when we're trading $1 million, and we have 200K stop loss to make a 700 to 800K profit, and our drawdown is 150, you're going to have to be able to sit there cool, calm, and collected in your wise mind, because you've already beat down the body, you've already subdued the ego, and you're saying, no problem, I know I'm in my drawdown 150K, I got a 200K a stop loss, that's okay, I'm already in my plan, I did it at the 5K, I did it 10 years ago when I was at 50K, and now that I'm a multi-millionaire, it's all relative, and now it's not a problem. My body's not having a visceral reaction because I'm down 150K. My ego's not saying nothing, ain't tripping. I've subdued that thing, and now I can sit back and watch the trade play out and go back into profit and make $1 million off of one trade. That's how we get the breakthrough. That's how we get to that next level. Like and subscribe. Put a comment in below and let me know what you think. Let's go and let's get this money.